something, Mia? You know something, Mia? I'm tired.
What?
This guy has
So
made me
tired.
tired
Oh
every
my
damn
goodness.
day. It's something.
It's
First, you,
it's
at first he
something.
won't
And
shut up. Ugh.
it's like, oh, I'm over like, I'm to the point, I don't even want to talk about politics, but there's so much stuff that needs to be out there. So,
Yep.
like, I was telling Crystal before we started this, I'm like, there's so much bad stuff. And here's the thing, they disguised a lot of it under this, that, and the other. So we might be bouncing around this episode.
Just a
It
little
might
bit.
only
We
be one
did do
episode too.
research.
Yeah, like there's so much crap, and it's honestly, I can't even like I could do one whole episode on how tiring it is. Like I feel bad for other progressive people on this platform, like the Vanguard and Francesca Ferrantini and all these people who are trying to slog through this crap, because even just doing it on a one episode every other week basis, it is exhausting.
It is exhausting. I mean, we got him messing with it's a tax credit bullshit, which yes, we'll get to. We got the
Yeah.
stupid plane that he shouldn't even be accepting. And what's that other crap? Oh yeah, how he's costing us money just so he can play fucking golf. If he wanted to play golf, he shouldn't have run for president.
Oh, and leaving 12-year-olds by themselves on the street. Let's not forget
Oh yeah.
that. There's that
Oh
too.
yeah, I forgot about that
Like
poor baby.
it so anyways, I think for this episode, you guys, also before this, if you've been wanting a juicy book talk story, let me just do a little intro for that. For if you want a juicy book talk story, we have our AML part 2 out. It should already be on the platform. So please watch that, because we did an AML part 1, Crystal, right? And then we
Yep.
got besieged
It
by
was
the
eventful.
bullshit.
You know,
So
I'm going to say this to the audience. I told my doctor's office, because I was about to leave for a routine basic visit. I told them what happened at the Million Lives Matter. And they stared at me like I was crazy and then said, say that again. That's how messed up this whole thing is.
right? It's wild. And so so if you want some juicy book talk stuff, there's an episode that's just out, AML part 2. We go in, we take all the grace away, and we have all the rage.
There is no grace in that event.
There is
Adult
no grace
things
left.
that were supposed to be in swag bags went missing. Since when do
Yes.
we hear about that?
I know. So, like, if you want that, please go listen. Please like and subscribe. I don't know. We haven't really expressed this, but we have some new people joining. We have some high new subscribers. We are new podcast babies, but we are trying, and I think we're
trying very hard.
Yes,
I'm adding a like, comment, and subscribe thing up there right now. Please do the things. Please do the things. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. We need your help.
We're trying to do this. But anyway, so we're probably going to flit around this. Usually for our politics episodes, we do what we do with book talk episodes. We do a part 1, part 2, and we focus on one subject. But there's so much. There's so much out there that I think we're both overwhelmed. I'm sure Crystal is going to mention the Pope stuff. We're going to have a lot of different topics in this. So
I'm not talking about the Pope till the impending day happens that this man wants to go to war with the Pope and doesn't understand why he can't be Pope or just take over the Vatican.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
that's a whole different rage for another day.
There's so much stuff. And so let's just preface this that there may be a part 1 and 2 of this episode, but really we're going to have like 15 topics. So I apologize ahead of time that it's a little cray cray, but there's just so much stuff that
it's too much. And it's only been what, a week?
It hasn't, like, I feel like it's been 10 years and it's only been 5 months.
We're at month 5. Time we talked about politics.
I know, but it's like that man. You know what? I feel like if there was a contest between him and Darth Vader of who could do more shit in a week, he would fucking win hands down.
I know.
And it's because he has a very fucking evil cast of dumbasses behind him just fucking shit up. And nobody's standing up and saying, what the hell? Like this, I have to say this. Like, this drives me. There are some people, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Jasmine Crockett. There are some very awesome people who are trying to stand up and say, no, sir, you cannot pull this shit. And there's some pushback from the judicial system. But I feel like, where the fuck is Congress? Where the fuck is Congress?
And especially when saying, don't worry, Papa Trump, we'll do what you ask us, like a street cooker.
Like, where the Congress is really the one who should be controlling, like, for this financial crap we're going to talk about in a minute. Really, all the financial shit for the country should be under, like, Congress should be talking about this. But these motherfuckers, especially these Republicans, are fucking over here kicking back. They're too scared to fucking say anything. And this man is just dismantling our government piece by piece by piece.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
like
infuriating.
The dumbest thing that has ever happened. It's like the dumbest thing the United States could have done.
Yeah.
And the worst part is you and I tried to prevent it. But anyway, to the
news. To the news. Okay, so this first part, let's start with one of the first things we wanted to talk about, which is the big beautiful bill. That was going to be the first thing we talk about, which is it's coming out in the House. Oh yeah, we might as well just call it like them making a lot of fucking promises, and who the fuck knows if will come through.
I'm calling it that because he was jealous of how big Obama's bills were.
Right. So this is the big beautiful bill. That's what they're literally fucking titled. It's ridiculous. It's coming out of the House. It's a huge packet of legislation focused on tax cuts and spending adjustment. And it's been described as the Trump agenda bill. And it talks about different things they want to do. And the thing is, there's a lot of like detailed financial crap, which I'm not even going to pretend that I like. Some of it sounds good, but I don't honestly know how much they can actually do. And some of it's just like, literally, I think 2 or 3 of the articles I read on this, Crystal, talked about how they're basically slipping in a lot of little things into this bill to reward their allies and punish their foes. And I'm like, how are we doing politics this way? How are we? This is a budget bill.
This is called being a petty little shit.
Exactly. Like, this is a budget bill for our country. And have we not, Crystal, have we not seen in the past where budget bills don't pass, right? Because they put stupid shit in there. And then our country, especially our federal employees who have already been fucking humiliated and fired and had all this shit in the beginning of the year, and they end up getting laid off because these bitches can't get their shit together with the spending bill, right? So it boggles my mind that, like, and then there's some stuff in here that like have real world consequences for planet Earth too. So it's just, there's just so much. And it's like, some of this really sounds good. Like, some of this is like, oh, we're going to give tax cuts for the elderly. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. But then you look at it and they're like, oh, but it's temporary, or it's this, or it's this. And then it's like, okay, well, where are you getting the money from? And then they go into how they're going to slash money from programs that need the money. So it's like, it blows my mind.
It does, because I read that thing. We got an article that really breaks it down, and I read that thing, I think, almost 3 times, and I'm just exhausted from reading it because it's like a lot of stuff that shouldn't be cut is happening, and then they want to add more to the military-industrial complex. They want to slash things for Medicaid and Medicare, which is stupid because the bulk of their voters use Medicaid and Medicare. I know I'm gonna highlight this bit of racism real quick because I feel like this needs to be addressed. They like to act like Medicaid and Medicare is mostly people looking to use welfare, especially people with brown skin and basically are not white. And this is disgusting. Listen, majority of people on Medicaid and Medicare, yes, are white, via the fact that they are the largest portion of the population, but that's not even worse. The thing is, a lot of people will get hurt and die because they will lose access to very necessary medical care. And I'm just saying, people, y'all need to be doing your research, paying attention, and raising some hell with your representatives, because otherwise a lot of innocent people will get hurt. And also, Republicans, y'all need to think, because if you hurt Medicaid and Medicare, y'all like to pretend like Obamacare is to just only hook to Obamacare and all this other stuff, but this will hurt your people who elected you. And do not think they will not get pissed and they will not riot once you hurt their families.
It is just like, some of the stuff is unnecessary. Some of the stuff is ridiculous. And then, like, let's talk about like the Obamacare stuff, right? Because that was an interesting thing. Of that's what Trump used before, of like, oh, it's Obamacare and da 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 da. And then slowly people started realizing.
That, Mia, I think we should spell this out for people as we go and talking about Obamacare.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to do. So here's the thing. Obamacare. So Obamacare. So here's the thing. Trump and them like to go off about Obamacare. And to be fair, it wasn't even just Trump, because the Republicans were doing this for 10 years-ish, where they were going off about, oh, Obamacare, that's evil and that's that. Well, first of all, let's look at the facts. When Obamacare was first created, it had a lot of awesome shit in it. And then Republicans, and I'm not exactly sure of this number, but I remember it was they challenged like 100 different items of it. And they literally changed it into, it's not terrible, but it's not fucking good, right? But basically that is what Medicare and Medicaid is Obamacare. So, but the Republicans knew, because people know
expanded to make it more effective.
Well, here's the thing. So people they know what Medicare and Medicaid is, right? They know that is your state-funded, healthcare programs. That's what Medicare and Medicaid are. Well, here's the thing. So what Republicans did, and a lot of their optics, and they did this even before Trump got into office. So actually half this shit lies on their asses to begin with, is they pushed through this idea on their constituents that, Obamacare is this totally separate thing, totally fucking bogus.
Yes, people,
and it needs to be gotten rid of, and it needs to be stripped down. But what it actually is Obamacare is just the Republican terminology for Medicare and Medicaid. That's all it is.
Real quick, people, I know many of you are saying, well, I got the Affordable Health Care Act, and people in Kentucky, I know y'all are saying, well, I got Kentucky Connect. That is great. Obamacare is the Affordable Health Care Act.
Yeah,
and it is Kentucky Connect. To all of you, don't you dare say blame Democrats in your name. Your party labeled it Obamacare and campaigned on it being Obamacare. When we say Obamacare, we are talking about the Affordable Health Care Act.
The Republicans have been sitting here for like 10, 15 years branding it as, it's Obamacare. It's Obamacare. So they revved up, because, they used a lot of fear PR shit, and they revved their people up to hate it. And then when they fucking started repealing shit, and people were like, why am I losing Medicare and Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act? Because it's all the fucking same thing. It was all the same thing. So the thing is that I don't care what they call it. I don't care if they call it Obamacare. I don't care if they call it like the Affordable Care Act. Like, it doesn't matter what name they call it. It is the same fucking thing. It's just they wanted to put a brand name on it so people would hate it and not care that they were trying to take you off your health care. And here's the thing, by the way, it's not just Kentucky. It's called, a lot of different states have different names for it. So I think there's a problem here where a lot of people are like, I'm in Oregon, right? And so Jackson Care Connect is the ACH, is the Obamacare. It's like that is the Medicaid Medicare program, right? Okay, but here's the thing: you would not know that because it's called Jackson Care Connect. So you're thinking, okay, this is like a state, whatever, like state insurance stuff. No, that is what it's called here in my state. So that's the thing, is that it's per state, and it's even per county. Different counties have different names for their version of it. So that's the thing, is that when you break this down, it doesn't matter what name you call it. Basically, all the time they've been trying to whittle away at it for 20, 30 years now, because it's too much money for poor people, or too much money to take care of people who are just lazy and when really it's taking care of people who have disabilities, who have physical and mental disabilities. It's helping to take care of the elderly. It's helping to take care of people who have serious health issues. Like, this is a program that, and you would think like, there's a healthy adult over there who's on it. But here's the thing: you don't know the circumstances of their life. So you want to sit here because, you have the Republican news sitting there telling you, and let's be fair, hi Fox News. Yeah, we know what you are.
Media. We don't love you.
Fucking Fox News can fuck off with their state-branded media. So Fox News has been sitting here for 20, 30 years with fucking Republicans. So here's the thing. I don't even put this on Trump, because Trump wasn't the one who started this shit. He just jumped into it because that's what they told him would be a good talking point to win people to vote. And then when he started cutting shit the first time, people freaked out like, we didn't know. What are you talking? Yeah, but you fucking know now. And now, so this bill, back to the original topic.
Yeah, sorry, we got too much going on here.
Right. It's like I said, we're going to butterfly this episode. We're going to be all over the place.
Explaining the bill is going to lead into other topics. We got to try to stay the course.
Yeah. So basically, in this bill, to break it down, and I'm not going to get into the nitty fucking gritty because there's a lot of
course, that helps get into more of the nitty gritty, though.
Yeah, it's a 1,000-page document, so it's hard to get into it. And even the newspapers and the summaries I found, like even they were like 20 pages just to fucking summarize. But
Yeah,
basically,
we read that a lot.
yeah, so what it does is it basically it's going to give more money to military and immigration enforcement, of course, because that's the tank, and we'll talk about the military parade bullshit too. It's about the tanks and getting rid of those people of color. Sorry, the people who are here illegally. But let's be fucking real, what he's talking about.
Let's be honest. It's all brown people who are basically not perfect European whites, especially Eastern European.
Oh, but here's a fun fact, Crystal. Sorry, we're gonna, like I said, butterfly around. I apologize. So did you hear about how he gave the white South Africans fucking refugee status?
Mia, I have some bad news for you. Actually, I want to give some bad news with that real quick. As you all know, the white South Africans have arrived. They gave them land, all this nice stuff. And Mia, I'm sorry. I checked and my family made sure to double check. South Africa does not have a return policy, so they're not going back.
Oh my God. It's funny because they want to say they're not racist and they want to say for the immigration stuff, right?
Yeah.
That we're not being racist. We're just trying to get people who are freeloading out of the country. But yet you guys gave refuge. You just had the person you voted in who gave refugee status to white South Africans. I'm sorry. What's the difference between them?
Create refugees. I mean, my goodness.
But he's made it known that he hates the refugee shit. He basically wants to fucking reverse it all. But do we notice that when it comes to white people, suddenly he's all about that refugee shit. But when it comes to black people or people of color, suddenly you want to be all up like, well, I don't know about that refugee thing. That sounds real fucking crazy.
You're trying to get away from the gangs who control your government, do the tactics of other governments. Y'all don't suffer. Those poor South Africans who live on stolen land, they're the ones suffering.
Exactly. So it's a bunch of bullshit when they try to say they're not. Anyways, so besides the racism, which is everywhere.
Yeah.
So, but by the way, so to make sure they have the money for the military and the immigration, so yanking parents and 4-year-olds off the street and having tanks run through the streets, because we'll talk about the military parade, already said that. But to do this, they are going to make cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and clean energy. So there was this whole, and this is what I was talking about earlier when I talked about like how this stuff affects stuff that will affect the planet. So I don't know if it was Obama's time, I think he might have started this, but Biden pushed it through, was the clean energy subsidies, where basically they would reward companies for switching over from like coal and stuff that really damages the ozone layer, which, by the way, people, the atmosphere and the ozone layer, kind of important for the planet. I don't know if you know this. A lot of you don't seem to, but it is kind of fucking important for us.
That's why they're rolling coal off their big rigs.
Right. So anyways, because it has literally been talked about for the last 5 years by environmental scientists, and you can Google the fuck out of this because it's everywhere. They have literally talked about how if we do not start switching over to clean energy, we are going to fuck up we're already fucking up our atmosphere, but we are going to fuck up the water we drink. We're going to fuck up the land we use to make food. So all this shit that we've been trying, like clean energy subsidies, was supposed to go to basically rewarding companies for switching over from fossil fuels to fucking clean energy. So by the way, though, they're getting rid of those subsidies because it was going to cost the government too much.
Yeah, so, and especially since all those clean energy ideas were going to provide a lot of jobs and get people less dependent on coal and oil.
Because evidently all y'all don't like to breathe. I don't understand. You don't like clean water.
Why do y'all want
I don't understand how this MAGA cult movement, and yeah, you guys are a cult. I don't give a fuck. I don't understand how you guys don't get that you breathe air and you drink water, and you don't understand how the fucking atmosphere affects that shit. It's kind of wild to me because half y'all seem to be farmers, so I don't understand. I don't understand how you want to sit here.
Because God will not allow it, to which I have a whole argument there I'm not going to get into.
Oh my God. It's a whole thing. So anyways, there's that stuff. So then also also with the Medicaid stuff and food stamps, so basically they're saying that if you're a regular adult who, whatever reason, and by the way, there's a lot, that's why I was stating specifically earlier, there's a lot of reasons why a normal adult would be on Medicaid and would, like, if they're not working and they're looking for work and they're trying to, and they have health issues, like, that's a thing that would put them on Medicaid, correct? Correct.
Yep.
So they're saying, oh, well, you have to do work. Well, trying to get a job. Now, let me tell you, I'm doing the job searching shit is a bit, but
Yep.
trying to do job searching. And so you either you have to have a job, you have to volunteer like 60 hours a week, or it's there was one other, be a student and 60 hours or something, 40. No, I think it was 60 hours, they said. So you have to do one of those three things or else you are disqualified, period, end of subject. So there are people who have mental disabilities, who have serious health issues, who would not be able to do those requirements. And then especially volunteer, which I'm not, by the way, I'm not against volunteer stuff. I fucking love it. I volunteered for years as a kid and a teenager. But I'm also saying if you have somebody who has serious health issues, why are you trying to fucking put them out there and make them do something 60 hours a week, by the way, just to keep their fucking health care?
Because
and by the way, there isn't that many.
Lazy. All of you people who need a little extra help and aren't asking for a handout, you're just being lazy.
Yeah, basically. And so there's that. It also, and then I know it's fucking up student loans because they're and also adjustments to the tax treatment of university endowment. Let me translate that for you. They're trying to punish the universities that have gotten money, and they're trying to, like Harvard and all those who are trying to fight them. Yeah, they want to yank their shit away. And they want to cut off Medicaid funding for gender transition procedures for minors, which, by the way, aren't that many. Most people don't even start the gender transition procedure until much later. But also, why do you all seem to think there's like 80% of the population is gender transition procedure? But it has
it's
transition stuff for gender.
Of the population, people. It's not a huge portion of the population.
There was 60% of you who voted Trump in. So where is this gender transition shit for you guys? And also, people are not running around trying to throw kids into changing their gender, which I don't also understand why you guys think that either. It kind of boggles my fucking mind. And I talked to someone who has a child.
Against people who are transgender than it is to actually do something about a problem.
Right. And I mean, let's talk about some of and it's not just that this bill targets small minorities of people and large minorities, honestly, but it's just looking at the fact that the trans bias that is just rampant in everything they're doing. If it's not their fucking racism, it's their fucking hatred for anybody who's fucking different. You act like there's a fucking army of people who are trans who are trying to fucking confuse you and force transition. No, they don't give a fuck about you. They give no fucks about you. So why are you so fucking concerned about something that isn't your business?
Well, I both know that if for someone every day who's trans, they're gonna raise hell. But if it was their cousin or nephew, it's like, oh, well, I should be understanding of this.
It's ridiculous. So also, but by the way, because this can't just be a budget bill. They have to be petty fucking bitches. So there is a portion that is also obviously gonna take the money away from Planned Parenthood. And do not get me, I could rage for days because Planned Parenthood, I used to do activist shit when I was a kid for Planned Parenthood because I don't think people get what Planned Parenthood does.
They really don't. It's just an abortion hotline.
Planned Parenthood literally gives as much as they can free healthcare to women and children. Mostly it's focused on helping women, especially poor women, especially women like women of color, poor women who have no fucking money, who are having a kid, or maybe they're trying to not have a kid. And I mean, if you have no money and you're trying to pay bills, how the fuck are you going to go out and buy fucking birth control pills? How the fuck are you going to do this, especially if you're not allowed to have healthcare? And so Planned Parenthood literally will step in, and a lot of their services are to give you birth control or give you womanly checkups or stuff to keep your health going. And these people want to act like it's just there to like be terrible. But also, by the way, y'all don't know your fucking history about Planned Parenthood, because
They
let me
really
tell you
don't.
about the people who literally fucking died at Planned Parenthood from bombs. Because fucking in the 70s and 80s, when they were fucking when fucking conservatives were raging about shit, and we had shooters fucking going after people, still going after people, really. But doctors who were trying to help at Planned Parenthood would be targeted because there is this belief that, oh my God, they do all this stuff. When abortion shit is like 1% of their shit. And they literally talk about how people fucking died. People fucking died to help women have health care, because there is this extreme belief that, oh my God, they're just sitting there tearing babies. Like, first of all, also, if you don't understand that a woman's body is her choice, get the fuck out of here. I have no time for your stupid ass. No time.
We really do not have time for you at all. Just
Because how
go
would you
and rant at
talk
the edge of
about
the street because nobody wants to hear your nonsense.
Well, let's not even talk about, like, I would love to introduce, especially to these fucking MAGA cult men, I would like to introduce you to the concept of, what if you had the government putting their fucking nose up your shit? What if you had required vasectomies? What if you had to be, oh, let's look at your sperm count. Let's check what's up with that. What are you doing? Are you trying to have children? Are you not? What if we were all up in your business? And y'all would be in the streets. Y'all would be in the streets fucking shooting shit up
Exactly.
if the government was in your shit. But for some reason, it's okay to tell women that they cannot fucking control their own fucking bodies. It is fucking mind-blowing to me.
Agreed. It's just tiresome. I mean, why do you want to know what's all up in a woman's hoo-ha? That's her
And it
personal business. Ugh.
and it goes back to religion, honestly. And I'm not going to start a religious discussion, but let's be for real when we talk about the fact that history has thousands of years of religion being used, and I'm specifically saying being used, to tell women what they can and cannot do, what they can and cannot read. And then you all want to bring that in here when really this country was meant, this country was halfway founded by people who were trying to get out of religious persecution. So the fact
Yep.
that you guys want to sit here and use religion to be like, well, I'm allowed to tell you what to do with your body because you're taking a life. No, no, ma'am. No, sir. You have no right. My
Really, they're
body
just
is
being
not
a
your
huge
fucking body.
hypocrite.
So you need to check yourself. So, anyways, of course, they're taking away Planned Parenthood money because, they're scary and they might help women, and we don't want that. Oh, by the way, also,
Exactly.
happy announcement for them. Mortality of women and children has gone up since Trump has been in office. Congratulations.
Yay! Females are more likely to die along with little babies. Heaven help me, this is insane.
Very, very much insane. So, of course, taking money away from Planned Parenthood. And, also they want to get rid of the $200 tax on silencers because, we want silencers to be out there because, they're so good for their purpose of making sure people don't hear bullets coming for them.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
easier trying to lie people when you have a silencer.
And also, by the way, also tucked into this bill is the fact that they want to do more drilling and mining on public lands that have been protected. Of course,
Yeah, screw
because
these
let's
national
ruin.
parks.
It's just wild. Like, I can't even with their nonsense.
I
Can't
get
even.
it. I mean, it's like, oh, let's tear up all the national parks. Let's make the streets of everyday life more dangerous. I don't even know why they want more silencers when they're scared of Luigi, but that's besides the point.
And also, because by the way, at the last minute they added a leftover thing. What was it? They added a provision authoring sales of land in, I believe it was Utah, Nevada. Yeah, thousands of acres of public land in Nevada and Utah. And they said, oh, they tucked it in there real quick that the land could be sold off so people could mine and do whatever they wanted. And this is land that is being protected for natural, like for the beauty of it, because fucking
Ain't
trying
gonna
to
be
protect the
protected for much
trees and protect
longer.
the earth. I know. It's And then also, like I mentioned student loans earlier, that's something that I'm pissed about because as somebody who has student loans, So there's 3 or 4 programs that you can sign up for as somebody who has student loans. And they give you different options. And a lot of them are really good for working with, especially if you're low income and you're not making a lot of money. It works with you to pay it back at a reasonable time so that you're not like, so it might not be paid off super fast, but it's still trying to, okay, pay a little bit here, pay a little bit there. So you're working on it. Okay. So what they're doing now is they're taking away all the plans and they're basically putting it down to 2, where you either have 10 to 25 years to pay everything off at a very high exorbitant rate, or your second option is to, I believe it's supposed to work with your income like the other ones used to, but basically everything I've read has basically said that it's going to be very difficult, especially if you're somebody who's low income, you're looking for a job, you don't have a job, you're basically fucked.
Great.
So yeah. So that's just this one bill. Like, let's not even talk about the hundreds of other bills that are going on in various states where they're trying to go after women's rights and abortions and this and that. And they're
We'll have
trying
more on
to hurt
that because we're gonna have to
education.
break this stuff down eventually.
I know. So there's all that. But hey, you know what? As long as Trump gets paid, right? That's what the
Gets
important part
paid
here.
and gets a new plane. Well, really, it's 14 years old, but still. Ugh.
Right. So I said we were going to butterfly. So we're going from this tax cut bill that's mostly just terrible to let's talk about the Qatar plane, Crystal.
Oh, you mean that plane that, was gifted? The gift that really no president really accepts because it's corruption combined with, if he were to even fly around with it, it would cost us a lot of money just to make it upgraded enough to be Air Force One. Plus, we have to check for listening devices. The whole damn thing has to be stripped down. And just really, it would cost a massive amount of money combined with, you got to think about this, it would not be as advanced as the new Air Force Ones that they're building. Is just taking them a while. And here's why it's taking them a while. And, Trump's been complaining about, Air Force One, it is a crappy plane and all that. Let's get into why he's riding this, I believe, 40-year-old plane. Because when President Obama had commissioned for a new Air Force One to be built, because President Obama thought that was a good idea, Trump put a halt to all of that. That's why he's not flying a new Air Force One. And don't go with, Biden, why didn't he do anything? Biden did commission for a new Air Force Ones to build, but for all of you don't know, Air Force One is a flying office. There is all this technology and other things for the security of state secrets and the protection of the president in that plane. It's a lot of very high-tech stuff because the president can't just fly around in any plane. So it takes a hot minute to build one with the latest technology. And to just say, forget that, I'll just fly along and ride along this plane palace thing that I've heard it called. I haven't seen the inside, admittedly, but I don't really care. The point is, it would be too expensive. It's a 14-year-old plane, and you're going to tell me you're going to waste all this money upgrading a 14-year-old plane versus just sucking it up and riding an Air Force One till the new Air Force Ones are ready?
Well, and the fact that it's going to cost like $1 billion plus to overhaul it just to make it so it's safe, like that to me is like, and then it's like, but you want to cut Medicaid, you want to cut funding for Planned Parenthood, but hey, as long as Trump gets his plane that costs the taxpayers, not Trump, it don't cost Trump, it don't cost anybody else but the taxpayers money to overhaul this shit. Instead of, we could just build a plane for cheaper, but no, he wants the pretty shiny plane. That's a low-key bribe. And let's talk about how it's a bribe. It's basically a bribe. So they're like, well, he's not promising anything. Yeah, but here's the thing. Part of the emoluments clause in our Constitution is to prevent people from being greedy assholes and getting money on the side to make them rich, so that when something comes up, let's say some shit goes down in Qatar, and so we don't have the guy who's getting, a free fucking plane from them from siding with them. That's why we have this emoluments clause. That's why we have this clause that basically says you cannot get bribed. It's not okay. It's not fucking ethical. It's not legal.
Very, very obvious. I've been hearing people say this for days, and I agree with them. This is a really, really fucking obvious Trojan horse. It's more obvious than the Trojan horse.
Yeah. And it's just ridiculous that like they're trying to pretend that it's not going to benefit him. Like
Yeah, giving him a plane, like he's claiming, oh, it's just gonna go in his library and stuff. And it's just a whole lot of bull. Why do you even want that in your library? Why do you even want a 14-year-old plane?
yeah, and it's just ridiculous. And not to mention, like, this isn't the only thing he's using to get money, right? Because he is
Yeah.
literally like, I mean, how
From the
much money
pool
has he
cars to the
made?
South African immigrant imports. Ugh.
Yeah. What about the golfing? Let's talk about the golfing.
Oh, you mean the what was it, $18 million that he has spent so far on freaking golf? There are a lot of words
Right.
I want to use right here, and I am going to hold back.
I wouldn't hold back. Go for it. I say fucking go for it.
No, no, no. We got to get to the end of this and take too long.
I mean, I say you have a few minutes to rant about it because it's just,
Well, because this
oh my
dumbass
God.
motherfucker, instead of doing his fucking job, trying to take care of the damn country, or even researching how the hell terrorists work, this stupid person just sits there and he wants to go, oh, I'm going to play golf on the weekend with my rich friends. What you're supposed to be doing. You ran to be president, as in you were supposed to. Anyway, let me stop. He's supposed to
Right.
be doing his job, defending the country, not put us more in danger and not wasting more money on freaking golf. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
$18 million just so he can play a round of golf. $18 million so he can go to Florida and have stupid pocketbook parties. I mean,
Yeah.
how much more
Well,
money is this man determined to waste?
well, and look at it, like he's getting money from Disney because they didn't want to have to deal with his ass in court, so
Mickey
they did a
Mouse,
settlement. Yeah, and then we have the dinners that he's all these golf trips where he's having special dinners that with donations. Oh, and let's talk about, I think it's what, $250 million. He got $250 million for his was it campaign funds? And they talk about they have not been transparent. They have not told anybody how much is left. And then but their way to get around it. By the way, he's found a really nifty way to save all the money, all the bribes that he's getting from people because let's call a fucking spade a spade. These are all bribes. He
Yep.
has this library. Every president has a library they can donate shit to, right? And so what he has talked about is he's going to donate this plane, the rest of the 250 million he has left. He's going to donate all that money to the library. But here's the fun fact: after he gets out of office, because he has donated it to the library, and I'm using the heavy quotation marks here. You can't see it, but I am.
Oh,
And
I hear
because
it.
of that, he will be able to fly that plane around after he's out of office. He will be able to take a salary from evidently the money that goes into the library. So you're telling me that all this money that he's stashing away, all these bribes he's getting, these high paid dinners. Oh, and let's not even because he's doing a bunch of shit with crypto. What was it? Oh my God. So
This
basically
stupid coin he created, or is it a different one that's
it was a
current?
different, no, it was a country, I forget which country, put money into his crypto assets. Was it, he started it in October and they literally got $75 million worth of purchases from other people. They also have gotten, days before his inauguration, he unveiled the Trump coin, which is a digital token. Didn't even
Yeah.
pretend to be an investment, and he's got generating an estimated 350 million in trading fees. And and they talk about, because if you're president, you're supposed to separate yourself from money, right? But they talk about how they don't even know what his exact take is from all that money coming in, some of it from other countries, some of it from some of the corporate CEOs who didn't want Trump to be mad at them. I'm looking at you, fucking Zuckerberg. And they talk about how he literally is fucking getting all this money put into this crypto shit, these dinners, all a plane. I mean, and I talked about this in his first term. How this man is not. And by the way, there's also a Barbara Walters interview with him that's coming up, where she asked him like, "How are you a good businessman if basically you're just making private deals with people and going bankrupt? How is that good
How are you good business
businessmanship?"
when you bankrupt a casino?
Exactly.
How the hell do you do that?
Exactly. And that's not good business. That's just not. But because he was able to get a loan and write it off and lie, like it was a lot of it was lying, right? So
Yeah.
that's what in his head, the way to do bad business is good business. So it's like he's made all this fucking money off shit. And it's like people are like, oh well, no, he's not. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He is having countries and CEOs donate to his crypto coin. He has this free fucking plane from Qatar, which supposedly no promises have been made. But didn't he just go visit them? Didn't 5 minutes ago? Wasn't he just overseas?
I guess I can't get over this. I mean, the Oval Office is pretty much discount QVC right now.
It is, and that's the thing, and they know it. They fucking know it. They know that if they throw a little money into this thing or that thing, or all his little private accounts, give him some, oh, it's free shipment to help him. Okay, with all the spy technology on it, sure, yeah, sure, that's toast free. It's like, but what is the you can't take fucking bribes and then try to be like, oh, but it's not a bribe. It's a gift. They're giving me, but why? Why would they choose you of all people to give shit to?
Because he's so smart and wonderful, and
right.
Admire him.
He thinks it's because he's smart, but it's really just like because you're the president of a country that makes a lot of fucking decisions when it comes to money and goods and services and military contracts. And but hey, don't worry about that. If Qatar's bribing him with this, however much it's worth playing, it's no big deal because it should be okay. It should be okay.
It should be okay because Trump said it was okay, even though it's not okay. And I am terrified for our safety.
Well, and it's all just the like. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous to me that like you want to sit here and people are like, oh, he's not getting rich off his office. Yeah, he is. He's made fucking bank. He has a free plane. He's getting cryptocurrency. Yeah. By the way, yes, technically he cannot touch it for 4 years. But the minute that 4th year, unless he becomes Supreme Emperor God, besides that.
No, we're not having any emperors, Mia. I did not. We are Americans. We don't do this king bullshit, okay? That's what the whole point of breaking up with the British, to get away from these damn kings. I am not doing that. We're not doing the king thing here.
It's just ridiculous. And then you add in like, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this in another like immigration part 2 episode, but
most likely,
you have people
stuff we gotta get with immigration that keeps popping up.
I mean, you know what, Crystal? Here's a fun fact for us now. That's some relevant current news that will affect us is if our podcast is popular. So Hassan Piker, I don't know if any of you know who he is. He is a Twitch gamer and streamer. He also does like politics stuff. He's very into trying to help Pakistan and a lot of the shit that has happened to them. He's basically like, he's very progressive. He has some issues that he's very like heavily into, but it's funny because he came into the country the other day and got a nice 2-hour chat. He's also, I believe he is he no, I don't think he's Iranian. He was born in the US, but I believe he is, I honestly forget, but it doesn't even fucking matter. Obviously, he's not white. Let's just put that out there. So he's not white. So he came back in the country and he got a nice little 2-hour chat with the ICE agents and Homeland Security because he does a lot of shows about President Trump and criticizes their views. And they took him in for a 2-hour chat. They let him go, though. That's what the conservatives are saying. They let him go.
That's the good part, but I'm worried about when our podcast gets popular and they come
when our podcast takes off, Crystal, I mean, we're both going to be in there for like 4 hours. But it was funny because one of the guys on the Vanguard was talking about like,
you know what happened.
I do know what happened. No, but it's funny because one of the guys on the Vanguard was like, no, Crystal, here's the thing. One of the guys on the Vanguard was like, if I get pulled in, it's going to be, I love Trump and what are you talking about? So I think we just have to have a cover story.
No, I'll just talk like one of Trump's blacks. Maybe they'll let me go.
Right. Just say you loved. I mean, I don't know that I can physically let those words come out of my mouth, but I can try. Maybe if I pretend I can't talk and use like basic sign language, maybe I could do it that way.
Oh, just be like, oh, I just love Trump so much. There you go.
Right. Like we gotta fake it to make it, Crystal.
I know. But that's when the cops arrive. Till then, we're okay.
Right. Okay, so I do have a happy note to end on.
Let's get to the happy note. We need a breather.
I know, right? Here, I'm gonna pause for just a minute. So we're back. So like I said, this was our butterfly episode. But you know what? I want to talk about something happy, Crystal.
Yeah, we need some good news. And guys, don't expect too many butterfly episodes. It's just too much
No.
happens week.
It was a long week, and both of us had some issues we were dealing with. So it's like we just kind of decided to talk about everything and just go cray the whole time.
Yeah,
So
we just
usually
ran
we
up
do
the
a part
wall.
one and part two. We usually and we are gonna try to have some interviews and stuff. We're gonna be trying to pull some of our author friends. I
Yeah, we're
actually
gonna
have an
kidnap our
idea.
author friends and make them ask questions fairly soon. So you have that to look forward to.
Well, I was gonna say, Crystal, I had an idea because I was talking to one of our narrator friends, Carlos, and I was like, I want to do a book episode about narrators and kind of, especially male narrators and some of the shit they face.
Yeah.
So I was thinking we could do that maybe for one of the parts of our next episode.
Well, that sounds like
So
your awesomeness. So I'm all here for it.
yay! Okay, so let's have something happy, you guys. Let's end this episode on a happy thing. So somebody
Yeah.
got fired and lost her Pilates membership, and this might sound sad. This might sound sad. It's not though. It's fucking happy because
It was
this
a
is
good
one of the
thing.
few. It is because this is one of the few times that the internet did good. Good job, internet.
Yeah,
You
for
get some
once you're doing
cookies,
a good thing, let's do more good things like getting rid of bullies.
right? So
Because
there
this
was
lady's
a
bullying.
Oh, dude. So there was this lovely, and I say lovely very sarcastically. Let me mention that.
Like a
Monica
lovely
from
asshole.
Texas.
A lovely turd.
Monica, right? Monica from Texas, Crystal, who made a huge rant, and clearly she had come out of Pilates class. So clearly she was talking specifically about a few people. She made a huge rant that if you're 200 pounds or over, you shouldn't be in a Pilates class.
So
Because
if
how
you're
dare
100
you?
pounds or over, you shouldn't do an effective workout.
How dare you? Because, by the way, let's talk about that Pilates was made for people who had injuries and also benefits people who are overweight and need to start working on building their core up and getting into shape. So, this person was very upset that there were heavyweight people in her level 2 Pilates class who were daring to take the class and they just sweat and da 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 da. And she was going
Oh
off
my goodness. How
and
dare they take their health
right.
seriously?
Exactly. So she went off on it. She went off, and then it went viral because and then she was talking about. So clearly, she must not have liked her instructor either, because she basically was like, "And you shouldn't be allowed to be a Pilates instructor if you have a gun." Yeah.
Like
How
seriously.
dare?
So exercise, okay, me, I understand it now. I get what she's coming from. Exercise is only for people who are already skinny. Other people who want to lose some weight or gain more control over their health shouldn't exercise. They should just stay out of sight. Is that it?
Basically. So here's the thing. She did this rant and it went viral. I actually saw it first on YouTube, but it was actually a TikTok rant. And then I went on TikTok to find it and found a lot of people were pissed. So you know what the internet does when the internet's mad, Crystal.
Oh, the internet comes for you.
Oh, yeah. So the internet started looking her up. And so people who were actually in her area were like, oh, I know who this chick is. So they called up the gym and pointed out the video to the management over there. So she lost her membership to Pilates. She ain't got Pilates no more. So, hey, you won't have no more problems, girl.
Yeah,
You fine.
boo-hoo.
And then she also lost her job at a dental place because people then went to her. They found out where she worked because, again, people were paying close attention to this chick. So then they found out where she worked and they alerted her bosses to the video she did. And here's how.
That makes sense because what she did would have a negative backlash on that company.
It would. So here's the thing. And this is something a lot of people might not know. If you're in healthcare, and it doesn't matter if it's dental, mental, medical, it doesn't matter what kind of healthcare. So, by the way, if you're in mental health care, you have a lot more restrictions. But if you're in any of the health cares, you have HIPAA, which is this health act, basically security act, which protects people's privacy. And it's very strict on like what you as the person who is employed can post. So, for example, when I was a CNA and someone passed away, I couldn't even say, like, especially if you, like, by the way, if you have the company in your job title on a social media, which you really shouldn't, you can't even say, like, general vague stuff because it's really honestly against HIPAA. But if you don't have the job title, like, if you don't have it in your profile, you can occasionally be like, oh, I'm thinking of somebody, or well, like you can be very fucking vague. You cannot do specific. But like when people would pass away, like patients people had been taken care of for years, and I had that happen to me. You can't say any names. You're not allowed to. You can be written up for it.
Which is understandable for the sake of the privacy.
Yeah. Well, and so also it also goes along with if you work at like a public healthcare facility that has clients and you are out there saying this kind of stuff, but you're not being specific, right? Technically, you can come under fire for it at your job because they could be like, we don't know if you were talking about a Pilates class. Like, yeah, okay, she mentioned Pilates, but she could have been talking about patients. And that's the problem. You cannot, it is a very, they're very regulated when it comes to, they were actually one of the first business types to actually like monitor HIPAA, and they very strictly monitor social medias of workers. So I am not surprised she got fired because honestly, if I were that facility, that dental facility, and I got all these phone calls about this chick who's fucking shaming people who are overweight, that affects your clientele. That affects you. Like what?
I mean,
one of
when
your
you want to go to a dental facility and the person at the front desk, will look you up and down and poke at your stomach because she doesn't approve.
Yeah. And it's like, so somebody's doing your teeth. You don't want to think about that because she was a dental assistant, I believe. You don't want to think that this person is talking about your ass on the internet. And it's like, so even if you're vague, it is very easy to get written up. And so she, by the way, I honestly think she was fucking stupid because if you're in healthcare, you know about HIPAA.
Stupid. I'm gonna make this point about social media in general. Listen, people, if you have a rising social media platform, good for you. But when you have a social media platform, you need to be responsible and not just go crazy in the sense of thinking you can just insult anyone and say whatever you want. Because me and I rage out at the government. Yes, we call certain people names, but we're not going to just point fingers at anyone. We have discussions. We see, okay, what is appropriate here to even talk about? If we were going to be critical or say something, is it appropriate for us to say that? We don't do that about just anything. Why? Because we could either say something the wrong thing and hurt our brand, or we could hurt somebody else who doesn't deserve it.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that it's like any of those patients who are maybe a little overweight. And by the way, I will say, as somebody who's been heavy set, like this to deal, I mean, people like, I don't know, people like to think, again, it's all the commentary of like people with assumptions. And people like to sit there and be like, well, we're just trying to encourage you to get healthy. No, a lot of what happens online, especially with people who are overweight, is that you get judged. You get judged for being overweight. It gets assumed that you're lazy or you're this. Like, let's not even talk about the health issues associated with weight. But like, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. But then people don't realize that, by the way, the healthcare system is not pro on weight issues. So it takes forever to get help for weight issues. Like, you think this shit is so easy. Oh, I can just go to the gym and exercise. But that's not exactly how it is. There's a lot of shit that can get in your way, especially if you're low income. Again, with the lack of money, right? So it's just this thing of, and then for this chick to like be so upset that how dare the heavyweight people try to come in and take care of themselves and be healthy. It's like you can't win for losing.
Their lives.
It's like, yeah, but you can't win for losing. It's like, oh, if you're fat, you get judged by society as being horrible and lazy. But then if you're actually trying to work out, you get judged for the fact that you're fat and trying to work out. It's like, okay, well, then why should people who have weight fucking do anything? Because you can't win for losing. It's ridiculous. But it's just, anyway. So anyways, this chick, it was a happy note. I won't go into the ick part of that. But it was a happy note of she got fired. She lost her Pilates. I took satisfaction in that because to me, if you are going to be, and what I loved is that the internet was like, no, she was petty and nasty. That's literally most of her comments. So by the way, she did do an apology video with some tears and a lot of
apology,
right? But a lot of people think the only reason she did it is because she's trying to get her job back. Because like maybe was hoping that if she apologized, but then by the way, she deleted the apology video, Crystal.
Really, I think all that's left on her page is a couple cat videos and a cheese thing. I don't know what the cheese is all about, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's the whole thing of just, she probably tried to get her job back. They were like, no, you're cooked, bye. And then was like, well, fuck it, I don't want to, because it was a fake ass apology, so why would she care? So anyways, that was the internet. The internet did a good thing that day. I'm going to give the internet some cookies for that.
Good.
So with that little happy note of internet karma, I think we can safely run away from this episode.
Yeah, we got to run away from this episode because I believe we have some book shenaniganry to take care of.
I know. And so, anyways, you guys, thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for
If you want
watching
to
and
find
sticking
us,
around.
right? If you want to find us, we have all our links below. I'm also, please check out the AML Part 2 video because in there's going to be a link for Atlas Creed's website, and he has a list of all the people who are affected. And by the way, there's also going to be an event done on TikTok by KT Wishart and some other people, and they're getting together to kind of rehold some of these panels and do some good things for these authors. So we'll definitely announce that as well. But please like and subscribe. We really appreciate you listening to us. And Crystal, do you have any ending thoughts you want to give the lovely people?
My ending thought is that I want to cut myself a slice of Smith Island cake, so I will.
Wait a minute. You have cake and you're not sharing.
You're damn right I got cake.
Okay, look, we've had the chocolate discussion. I don't know why you haven't. The podcast contract says, Crystal, that if you have anything, no. This is part of the contract. If you have chocolate or cake or anything good, you must share.
Well, I'm sorry, but those Smith Island cakes are expensive.
Okay, and where's my piece?
Sorry, hon, but if you want a Smith Island cake, you're gonna have to go to Maryland.
But Crystal, you're supposed to give it to me now.
Well, it's too bad, hon. I get the cake.
But I want the cake.
Too bad. I got the cake.
See, and this is another example of how I am being left to suffer without chocolate and cake. And I just want everybody to realize, and please sympathize with me in the comments. I'm just looking for quick sympathy, really. But anyways, you guys.
I know you are.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry it was a little crazy today, but we did what we could hit. We did for whatever amount of spoons we had. So thank you so much.
Too much this week, especially in the news.
It's been a long week, so we love you guys. Please like, please subscribe, and come back because every week we're gonna have something: book talk, politics, whatever it is, interviews, in-depth discussions about what we're gonna have it all. So love you guys.
It's all gonna be here.
Thank you for liking and subscribing, and please come back tomorrow or next week.
Anyway, good night, my loves.